again. Welcome everybody. There was this big rumor out there about Netflix and Nintendo working together on a Zelda series. So Stefan, what was your first reaction?
Yeah, I guess I was excited, but I was also thinking, if it's in such an early stage, I should worry about it in a year or so, if they're finally deciding to do it. But yeah, I think it has potential, if they do it right.
Yeah, it sounded like they weren't even sure if this was going to be final. It's nothing final yet.
Yeah,
nothing
more
official.
like a pitch maybe.
Yeah, so it might never happen. But what intrigued me is that they compared it to Game of Thrones. So that like a family-friendly Game of Thrones is what they're aiming at.
That's quite something to compare yourself to.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of the show, but we have a big budget, like 6 million per episode.
Yeah, but in this first season, did they also have that budget?
I think so. I don't know,
Yeah?
but most likely because we had to build all these sets, which we just reused in later seasons.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Build it for season 1.
Usually, shows like this, they start out small, and if they're popular, then they get more budget. But yeah.
No.
Still, it's an issue.
But Netflix has House of Cards, this show with Kevin Spacey, how he becomes the president of the United States.
Ah, yeah.
Very good show, and there's also quite a big budget, about 4 million, I've heard.
Okay.
So 4 million per episode.
But still,
it's actually possible that they might offer quite some production value with this Zelda show.
Maybe they're just giving it a shot and they believe in the series. I hope they try it.
Yeah.
What really amazed me was that they're making it live action, like with real people. You think that for Zelda they would go for cartoon, like a computer animated?
Like, excuse me, Stefan.
Yeah.
We already had this. And
No, but like there's this CGI Zelda movie pitch, like a Saturday morning cartoon they call it. That was more in the style of Zelda, but live action. I mean, come on, if they can make it work, it would be epic.
Yeah, but the question is, how would they make it work? This is like my two concerns. One is the production value, and the other one is the storytelling. Like, this typical story of Link getting out there, saving Princess Zelda. It would be a little bit too straightforward and boring, I guess, for a TV show. So, what do you think? What can they do with this show?
I think they just need to bring it back to the world. Like maybe throw out the story, like this typical Zelda Link Ganon triangle thing, and just fill in the gaps with everything else. I was thinking, I would like to see the Gerudo race represented. I think they're really interesting, especially for it's not the big screen, but the small screen, I guess. They should come up with something, but they have to fill in a lot of gaps.
Yeah, I'm not even sure if this should follow Link and Zelda. Like, maybe have something that takes place in Hyrule, but it's not necessarily a typical Zelda story, which gives some more options for storytelling. And
what if they took one of the wars mentioned in the games?
Yeah, for example, yes.
That would be a nice setting.
Or have Link's parents as one of the main characters. Link isn't even born yet. It's like some like a prequel story to what happens in later Zelda games.
Yeah, but I think people will miss Zelda and Link if they're not in it.
Yeah, probably, yes. It's difficult because with the exception of like the animated series and the CDI games, they don't have Link Talk usually. So, I mean, how do you handle this?
Yeah, that was one of the first things I thought. Oh no, this whole discussion about Link talking or not is gonna start.
Yeah, of course.
It would look very stupid if he didn't talk at all.
I agree with that, yeah.
And even in the games, Link is not a mute. You are Link, so you do the talking for him. In a series like this, you are not Link anymore. He's just one of the main characters. Yeah. So I think he would talk, but maybe not so much. Like he's a doer, not a talker.
This is even shown in A Link Between Worlds, where you actually see Link talking, but you can't read the text boxes or whatever.
Yeah.
So
if people really argue he has to stay quiet, come on. You're being stubborn. Unless you can convince us otherwise. Go ahead.
I think he should stay quiet in the games, but in a TV
Yeah,
show it
yeah.
wouldn't make sense to have like a silent protagonist.
Yeah.
This wouldn't work well.
No.
But on the other hand, there is always the danger that he develops a character that people don't like, you know, excuse me, Princess Zelda.
Yeah.
What about a kiss? And you know, like this jerk from
Yeah.
the animated series. Of course, you don't want that.
No, but come on, they're not that stupid. I think...
Probably not, no, but there's the concern.
I think I could come up with some characters from series and movies that would be a bit like Link.
Mhm.
Like silent types, but still very courageous and smart, you know?
Oh, but maybe you have a character who evolves into Link. Who isn't
Yeah,
at the
sure.
beginning, who isn't like a typical Link in the beginning, maybe like someone who works in a Hyrule Town as a smith, or you know. And
Yeah.
over the course of the story he develops into the hero, but he isn't necessarily Link at the beginning. This might work, I guess.
Yeah, but still everyone's gonna guess that he'll be Link.
Yeah, of course, but it gives you the possibility to do more of a
Yeah.
character.
Yeah.
Not here's Link with his green head and green
No.
clothes.
That's what I didn't like in Twilight Princess. Like, you start out as a hero, suddenly you're this big shot knight. Come on. You're supposed to be a boy and
But also, in terms of Game of Thrones, where you have like all these different storylines, which makes this interesting. All these different locations.
Yeah.
It's a question: how would you do this in this? You could do this in like in a Zelda, but like in Hyrule, have like different stories going on with different characters. Like maybe follow a Gerudo storyline, or maybe have a Sheikah character. And
yeah, exactly. Have
Stuff like
Impa
that.
in there or something.
And I also wouldn't want like this black and white good and evil
No.
all the time, because this is boring fantasy.
Yeah.
Now with Game of Thrones, people want more intriguing stuff.
Shady, yeah.
You have characters who aren't necessarily good or bad, or both.
No.
Maybe you have characters like that. For example, the Happy Mask salesman is always this mysterious guy where you don't really know, is he good,
Yeah.
is he evil, or have characters like this in the show.
Well, if they mention Game of Thrones, then that's what they should be going for. But how do you think child-friendly would work? I mean,
it's just you don't have nudity or blood, like the violence of Game of Thrones, of course. You won't
Yeah,
have this
true.
in
But
Zelda's world.
did they say... Oh, I guess it's all a rumor, but I hope it's not really child-friendly, but more family-friendly.
Yeah, I think it's just, we said family friendly.
Yeah, because...
So it's not like childish. It's just you don't have the sex, you don't have the violence, so you can watch it at all ages. Or,
Yeah, but
I don't
still,
know,
it's because it's
beginning.
Zelda. You should have some violence. I mean, Link fighting a few monsters, etc. The monsters should die.
Sure,
You know, it's-
that's an interesting question. How would you handle this?
would they all go poof like in the game?
Yeah, because this would look totally stupid.
Yeah.
You can do this game style
And-
fighting.
That's actually why I was surprised that it was real life action instead of cartoon, because Zelda is made as a cartoon. The whole world breathes this, like, it just doesn't work. You cannot translate it directly onto the screen, like to a series.
Yeah, it would look stupid if Link hits a boglin with a sword and you have these sparks flying and like in Twilight Princess.
Yeah.
It's difficult. I guess like certain enemies like Star Force, you could have similar fighting scenes to Game of Thrones where they fight with skeletons and undead. But like other enemies, it's difficult, like Lies of Foss. You can just hit them and you see the blood, and of course you can have this. Maybe we haven't even thought about this yet themselves, because they said we're still looking for writers, and it's as we said, it might never happen this show because there are too many problems.
Yeah, it depends. I guess there are so many expectations about Zelda.
Of course, yeah.
And you cannot make everyone happy. You see this with the games, and now that if they'll do a series, got it even more, man. I think it could work, but it'll be very interesting. if they can make it work, oh man, it's going to be pretty epic. I hope it ties into the games. What do you think? Would it be better as a separate story, or would they try to connect it to to Hyrule Historia, basically?
I wouldn't necessarily place it in the timeline, but maybe use some assets from the games, like some settings and characters.
Yeah.
Just have their own setting. Or, of course, we always could go like Ocarina of Time style. I think this is the most popular, which we could choose. Like we already said, like have a story that take place in war before Ocarina of Time or something like that.
Yeah.
But
I'm afraid that
not necessarily. It just can be its own Hyrule, its own story. But have like elements, like have like the Temple of Time and have certain characters, like Impa.
Yeah.
But
and some
their own stuff.
Locations. I would love to see certain locations show up. Maybe in Twilight Princess, you have in the mountains this.
It's just called Snow Peak Ruins.
Oh yeah, Snow Peak Ruins. I'd love to see that. Things like that.
But of course, the most important setting will be Hyrule Castle and Hyrule Castle Town. I guess in this show will like be a popular place, like the King's Landing of the Zelda show.
Yeah, I guess.
And most of it, the other is now like forests and nature, and have a London farm. London farm is a beautiful setting. With Marlon. Marlon is a character that worked great.
Yeah, like this hot chick milking the cows. It's gonna be a big success.
It's supposed to be family friendly.
Oh, right. I was thinking I would love it. Well, you mentioned nature scenes. I was thinking maybe if they would record it in New Zealand, for example, where they also did The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings.
Oh yeah, the typical choice, Let's go to New Zealand.
But then I was thinking, there are so many nice places. Like I was in Romania a few months ago.
Come to Germany, we have very nice places to film.
That's true. You have very nice forests.
Yeah, and settings with mountains and castles. It's perfect here. It's like...
Yeah.
I basically grew up in a small Hyrule.
Nice. But that would be something to look forward to, like the beautiful natural locations. Maybe Link riding around through the fields and. It's funny how we immediately think of this castle setting. Well, Zelda has so much more. I guess Skyloft would be not realistic.
Yeah,
it would be very expensive to make.
Too expensive, yes.
Yeah. Or Spirit Tracks, like Link is on a train.
Oh no, don't go for the crazy stuff.
No, I agree, but
for the start we could keep it simple, and then maybe later expand to certain more crazy ideas, like have a Twilight realm, or I don't know.
Yeah, but it's still interesting that everybody automatically thinks of a world like in Ocarina of Time or Twilight Princess.
Yeah, of course, because this is a classic medieval fantasy setting which you expect from this show at first.
Yeah. I'm also a bit afraid that they just want to make Ocarina of Time the movie, the series. They follow that story. That would be boring. Give us something.
You can't. First of all, one problem I see here is with different races like the Sora and the Goron. It would require lots of CGI. This is always a problem because CGI is expensive, and you can't just like have entire characters like Ruto, just have him as a computer animation.
No Ruto because it's supposed to be family friendly. Naked fish lady.
She can wear a dress like she does in Ocarina of Time 3D.
Yeah.
But
I hope they don't decide to make the Zoras like a human tribe living in the water, and the Gorons like big fat humans living in the mountains. That would be.
I doubt that we will see these races at first. But
yeah, but they might replace them with something that's cheap to make. Yeah, we are the Goron tribe.
But if you think about it, in a Link Between Worlds, you have like this more human
Rosso.
Goron character. Yeah, exactly, yes.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, because...
Could go for that, but I wouldn't call them Gorons, man. It's just more like mountain people, or I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, either you have like, if you don't have a budget for the CGI, for have like these racers, or if we look very cheap and we don't want that.
No. Yeah, they should limit all the scenes with them. Like, I was thinking maybe the Zoras would be doable, like if you put a costume on someone with a lot of fins and extra stuff, you know, you could make it look like a Zora.
I guess, yeah, I guess.
But the Gorons, that would be like impossible. They have to be CGI. Unless they make a Goron suit.
Yeah, I'm just afraid it would look too cheap.
Yeah.
Like, it's very low budget fantasy film.
I guess they could look at all the fan fiction, like the fan-made videos. There's a lot of them. There's like 5 pretty good ones, I think. And they're made with minimal budget. Like all amateurs mostly. Some of them are pretty fun. Unless you don't agree. Did you see any of them?
No, sorry.
Oh.
I guess no. I have seen some of them, but
yeah, you have one where Dark Link is attacking.
With the Happy Mask Salesman.
Yeah, that's another one.
I think it was the same, huh? Because like.
No, the Happy Mask Salesman got attacked by Skull Kid, I think.
Mm.
And
yeah.
that was
okay,
like a
different one, yeah, but.
Yeah, a prequel to Majora's Mask.
Mm.
Then the other one has Link showing up out of nowhere and then shooting an arrow in Dark Link, something like that.
Yeah. True. Yeah, I remember. Okay, I've seen those.
Yeah, they're pretty good. I mean, my biggest complaint with those fan videos is that sometimes they don't feel like Zelda because usually they're too violent.
Mm.
It's like we'll see blood or whatever. But I'm excited about this if it becomes something, and if it's any good, because they could mess it up badly.
Yeah. Like when we announced Hyrule Warriors, I was very skeptical. I was like, this game is not going to be so good, and now it became one of my absolute favorite games.
Yeah.
So I'm not too skeptical. Maybe it's something really exciting.
But still, I think it could take another year before we hear anything about it.
Definitely,
maybe?
Yes.
Yeah.
Of course, yeah.
It's sad. Still, it's very fun to speculate about this. You could even go as far as like picking actors for people, but yeah.
I have no idea who I would choose.
It's even hard to know who would be in this series, you know?
Yeah.
Ganondorf, what do you think? Should Ganondorf be just a normal human, like a beefed up guy, or should it be CGI or mix?
If you find the right actor, but yeah, very difficult to say.
I guess it could work as a realistic guy, but
it probably won't do Ganondorf any justice.
No, that's always Ganondorf to me is always the hardest guy to get right.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
IGN had this trailer, this fake trailer for a movie, and Ganondorf looked like such a dork.
Yeah.
Link did too, by the way.
Usually cosplays of Ganondorf are just terrible. It's
yeah.
If you have like a normal height guy, it just doesn't work. You have this massive mountain of a man.
Yeah.
And yeah,
very muscular then.
You rarely have actors like that, and he's not like fat, super pumped up guy. He's more like this big, dangerous man, and yeah, he's hard to get right. So it's I would even say that maybe not have Ganondorf as an antagonist, but someone else.
Yeah.
Have Sia, I'm all in. But it probably wouldn't be family friendly, so.
No.
Yeah, get.
I was thinking maybe all the characters shouldn't look like they do in the games. Like Link would look... Actually, Eurogamer posted a picture of Link in cosplay. and they said even this is the best looking cosplay Link we could find, and even this looks very silly.
Yeah. This is why I said earlier that I want to have like more different character at the beginning.
Yeah.
Like, don't have the Link just build up to it, but have it its own character.
And give him some cool armor, some new costume, tunic.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be.
Maybe even establish a new look for Link, which works for the series.
Yeah.
Yep.
Maybe make it look like Zelda U.
Yeah, maybe.
It could the whole thing could tie into that, by the way. Would be nice.
It could, yeah.
Gorgeous environment.
I guess even here, animated series would have been nicer.
Yeah. They might decide to change the concept. They might think this works better as animated. Especially now that Miyamoto has been interested in directing movies lately. Like he made the Pikmin movies. Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if he would be very excited about this. But then again, what experience does he have? I mean, come on. He makes games.
His childhood experience, which is sponsor, like him running through mountains and woods with a wooden sword. I don't know.
They should make a movie about that. Baby Miyamoto.
No.
Miyamoto-kun.
So, let us know what you think about the show in the comments. What are your expectations? What would you like to see? And thanks for listening.
Yeah, see you next time.